We often talk about sex in hushed tones, shrouded in secrecy and shame, but what if we dared to see it differently? What if we recognize sex not just as a physical act, but as a fundamental aspect of being human? This isn't about pressuring anyone into anything, it's about exploring the profound ways in which intimacy shapes our lives, our emotions, our relationships, our very sense of self. It's about understanding that choosing to never experience sex is not just missing out on pleasure, but potentially missing out on a deeper connection with ourselves and others. For many, the decision to abstain from sex stems from fear, cultural conditioning, or past trauma. While these are valid reasons, it's important to delve into the potential emotional and psychological costs of this choice. It's about acknowledging the human need for touch, vulnerability, and the unique intimacy that sex can bring. This is a conversation about understanding the full spectrum of human experience, about making informed choices, and about approaching intimacy with an open heart and mind. From the moment we are born, we crave touch. A baby swaddled in its mother's arms, a child reaching for a parent's hand, a lover's embrace. These are not mere gestures of affection. They are primal needs, deeply ingrained in our biology. We are wired for connection, for the feeling of belonging that comes from physical and emotional closeness. Sex, in its most fulfilling form, is a profound expression of this need. It's a language that transcends words, a way to communicate desire, vulnerability, and love. When we deny ourselves this fundamental aspect of being human, we risk creating a void within ourselves. We may find it challenging to form deep, meaningful connections, to experience the full spectrum of human emotions, and to truly know ourselves in the context of another. It's not about judging those who choose abstinence. It's about understanding that the human need for touch and connection is universal. It's about acknowledging that sex, while not the only path to intimacy, can be a powerful catalyst for personal growth, emotional well-being, and profound connection. Intimacy is a dance of vulnerability. It's about letting down our guards, revealing our true selves, and allowing another to see into the depths of our being. This can be terrifying, exhilarating, and ultimately deeply fulfilling. Sex, in its most authentic form, is a language of intimacy. It's a way to express our deepest desires, our fears, our longings. It's a space where we can be completely present in our bodies, where we can shed the masks we wear in the outside world and simply be. When we avoid intimacy, we often avoid vulnerability. We may hold back in our relationships, afraid to show our true selves for fear of rejection or judgment. This can lead to a sense of isolation, a feeling of being unseen and unheard. Choosing to never experience sex can mean missing out on this profound form of communication. It can mean denying ourselves the opportunity to explore the depths of our own desires, to connect with another on a soul level, and to experience the transformative power of vulnerability. Loneliness is a silent epidemic, a pervasive sense of emptiness that can gnaw at the edges of even the most seemingly fulfilling lives. It's not about being alone, but about feeling unseen, unheard, and disconnected. While there are many factors that contribute to loneliness, the absence of intimacy can play a significant role. When we deny ourselves the opportunity to connect deeply with another, we risk creating a void within ourselves. We may yearn for touch, for closeness, for the feeling of being truly known and accepted. This yearning can manifest in different ways, in unhealthy relationships, in a constant search for validation, in a deep-seated sense of unworthiness. It's a reminder that we are not meant to walk through life alone, that we are wired for connection, for the feeling of belonging that comes from sharing our lives with others. Choosing to never experience sex can exacerbate these feelings of loneliness. It can lead to a sense of being different, of not belonging, of being somehow incomplete. It's important to acknowledge these feelings, to understand their root, and to find healthy ways to connect with ourselves and others. Section 5. Shadows of Regret, Real-Life Stories of Missed Opportunities. I always thought I could live without it, Sarah, a 67-year-old retired teacher confessed, her voice laced with a tinge of regret. I had my career, my friends, my family. I told myself I didn't need romantic love, let alone physical intimacy. Years later, Sarah found herself grappling with a profound sense of emptiness. I watched my friends experience love, heartbreak, the messy beauty of it all. I realized I'd built walls around myself, afraid of getting hurt. Now I wonder what it would have been like to let someone in to experience that kind of closeness. Sarah's story isn't unique. Many individuals who choose lifelong abstinence, often driven by fear, societal pressures, or past trauma, find themselves reflecting on the path not taken. This isn't about advocating for reckless abandon, but about acknowledging the potential for regret when we deny ourselves a fundamental aspect of the human experience. These stories serve as poignant reminders that life is about embracing our full selves, vulnerabilities, and all. Section 6. Sex and the Brain, the Science of Intimacy and Well-Being. The human brain is a complex organ, a tapestry of interconnected neurons that fire in response to stimuli, emotions, and experiences. When it comes to intimacy, the brain lights up like a firework display. During sex, our brains are flooded with a cocktail of hormones: dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, chemicals associated with pleasure, bonding, and stress reduction. These hormonal surges have a profound impact on our mental and emotional well-being, fostering feelings of connection, reducing anxiety, and even boosting our immune systems. Research has shown that regular sexual activity can lead to improved sleep, reduced pain perception, and a decreased risk of certain health conditions. While correlation doesn't equal causation, the science is clear. Intimacy, particularly through sex, has tangible benefits for our overall well-being. Choosing to abstain from sex means missing out on these physiological benefits. It's not to say that abstinence can't be a healthy choice for some, but it's crucial to acknowledge the scientific link between intimacy, brain chemistry, and overall well-being. Section 7. The Path to Healing, Overcoming Trauma and Fear of Intimacy. For many, the decision to abstain from sex stems from a place of pain, fear, or past trauma. These are valid reasons, often rooted in experiences that have left deep emotional scars. Trauma can manifest in our bodies and minds, creating a sense of disconnect from ourselves and others. It can make intimacy, especially physical intimacy, feel threatening or even impossible. Healing from trauma is a journey, not a destination. It requires courage, compassion, and often professional guidance. Therapy, support groups, and self-care practices can provide invaluable tools for processing past experiences and rebuilding trust in oneself and others. It's important to remember that healing is possible. It's about acknowledging the pain, working through the trauma, and slowly, gently, beginning to rediscover the beauty of intimacy. Section 8. Respecting different paths, honoring the choice of abstinence. While this essay explores the potential regrets of never experiencing sex, it's crucial to acknowledge that abstinence can be a conscious, fulfilling choice for some. Religious beliefs, personal values, or simply a lack of desire can lead individuals to abstain from sex. These choices are valid and deserve respect. Abstinence, when chosen freely and consciously, can be a path to self-discovery, spiritual growth, and meaningful connections. It's about honoring one's own truth and living in alignment with one's values. This essay is not about judging or shaming anyone's choices. It's about fostering an open, honest conversation about intimacy, about encouraging self-reflection, and about supporting individuals in making informed decisions about their bodies and their lives. Section 9. Embracing your sexuality, a journey of self-discovery and connection. Sexuality is a fundamental aspect of being human. It's about so much more than just the physical act of sex. It's about our desires, our boundaries, our capacity for intimacy, vulnerability, and pleasure. Embracing our sexuality is a journey of self-discovery. It's about exploring our desires, understanding our boundaries, and learning to communicate our needs with honesty and respect. It's about recognizing that intimacy can be a source of joy, connection, and profound fulfillment. Whether we choose to express our sexuality through sex, through other forms of intimacy, or through a path of conscious abstinence, the most important thing is that we approach this aspect of ourselves with curiosity, compassion, and an open heart. This is a conversation about embracing the full spectrum of human experience, about making informed choices, and about approaching intimacy with a sense of wonder, respect, and a willingness to connect.